Does Genesis really mean what it says? There are many theologians today who like to call themselves evangelicals, and therefore people who believe the Bible to be true, who will make out that the book of Genesis is figurative. This philosophy is the ancient Near East philosophy, using Genesis as an ANE, ancient Near East myth. They state that when you read Genesis, what you actually need to understand is that this is the backstory of the nation of Israel, that Adam is therefore an allegory representing Israel, and that the expulsion from the Garden of Eden is Israel being taken out of the Promised Land. The theologian N.T. Wright has said that young earth creationists, when they make their interpretation of Genesis, are not reading the text correctly. But is that so? When we come to the text, what do we understand when we read the text? The most logical, plain reading of the text is that it means what it says. The so-called young earth creationist position, therefore, is not an interpretation of Genesis, it's the plain reading of Genesis. In other words, it's reading Genesis without interpreting it. The difficulty that we therefore have with the sort of theistic evolutionists like N.T. Wright and like the Biologos website is that actually people cannot read Genesis, according to them, without referring to their ideas of what Genesis means. We can't simply read the Bible by ourselves. We have to read the Bible with their views in order to interpret it. That, to my mind, turns the ANE philosophers, the theistic evolutionists, it turns them into a sort of modern priesthood. Just as in the Middle Ages, people didn't want the Bible translated into the vernacular in case the ordinary people would read it and understand it, in the same way, these people do not want Christians to actually approach Genesis and read it for itself in case they actually understand what it says. You can only understand it by coming to the modern priesthood of the theistic evolutionary theologians. That will simply not do. That is not the reason why God inspired the Bible. He inspired it for us to read and to understand.